Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today on this video, I want to address a particular group of individuals, and maybe this group of individuals could be far bigger and far more many than I thought. But it is also a group of individuals that I personally belong to as well. Because how many of you out there have been talked down to and people point at you and the things that you do based on the results in your life? Tell me if this is wrong, or tell me if I'm correct. You have been trying various things in your life. You've made some realizations along the way, maybe even some harsh realizations. As a result of that, decided to change the way that you live. Do some things a little bit different than you used to before. You are trying, you're putting in the effort, maybe even making sacrifices. But it's just that the results that everyone is looking at is not what you would like it to be. You would like it to be more. You would like it to be more so that people can shut up and stop pointing the finger at you. Unfortunately, people are looking at you as though your results is like your report card. They're telling it to your face, your report card sucks. How many of you experienced that? I have. I used to be very successful in my previous business, made a very nice income. It was through those years, my ex-wife also had a very good life. But coming into the more recent times before she actually moved out, we had a lot of skirmishes in the house. And a lot of it had to do about finger pointing, and I was a victim of constant gaslighting, constantly being put the blame upon for not doing enough for the family. And sometimes it was as though all my past efforts didn't matter. But then again, it's true. My past efforts did not matter because the past efforts do not yield result anymore, and the results are no longer there. But as I tried to pick myself back up again, to do things in a different way, to do different activities, some of them just weren't so successful. Sometimes, even though I clinched a big deal, and you know what's interesting? Even since 3-4 years ago, I wrote in my New Year's resolution, I want to do like big deals, 6-figure, 7-figure business deals. And I actually did. The only thing is that it met with problems. My biggest frustration has been being able to do these big deals, but just not that it would benefit me, because the deals eventually fell through. So that was my little story over there, and before I proceed further, I want to give you like a little metric of understanding what we'll be discussing here today. I have been watching some of Bob Proctor's videos recently, and I'll even include one of them in the video description so that you can watch it too, and then we'll be on the same track. Bob Proctor has a diagram that he likes to use, how the thoughts affect our feelings, affect our actions, and collectively, thoughts, feelings, actions become our attitude as perceived by other people, and also maybe perceived by ourselves. Am I a badass? Am I savage? Good attitude, bad attitude, hardworking, whatever that may be. So that's how we manifest our attitude. And he also has another equation where attitudes equals to results. This, my friends, I want to tell you, and I want to basically give you this note. You are not defined by the results you currently have. That is not a very fair way of looking at things. I have been judged under such circumstances. I mean, my ex-wife was a narcissist. My mom is also a narcissist. Actually, long story, but I probably chose my wife because I was trying to repair this saga with my mom. Unhealed issue resulted in... Anyway, they both looked upon me and said similar things about me, and it really hurt me, affected me a lot. I want to tell you today so that you can have this confidence to live your life to the fullest. I know that if you're watching this video, listen to me rant, it's because I've been experiencing the same or something very similar, and you just want the people around you to support you and recognize the things that you're doing. It's very important that you feel good about yourself, because if you do not even respect yourself, who's going to respect you? Let me give you a way that you can appreciate yourself. I want you to think of, you obviously know what you've been doing. Would you tell me that between this week and last week you make a progress? Between today and last month, did you make a progress? Between today and 6 months ago, how far along a way have you come? I want you to close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths. Summon an image to your mind of a version of you that came to your mind when I prompted just not too long ago. This could be from 6 months ago, it could be from 3 months ago, 1 month ago, even last week. You are now outside of that version of yourself and then looking at yourself. If you are external person, yeah, you are an external person right now because you're looking at yourself. You're a third party. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about this version of you. Everything good and bad. Maybe this version of you looks tired. Maybe this version of you looks a bit fatter than now. Maybe this version of you has frown lines. But for the things that are not so appealing to you, what are they? Can we appreciate this version of you in a different way? For example, maybe you saw an image of yourself in a moment where you're so depressed with everything, or perhaps you were even having some tears of joy. Maybe if I didn't know this person, which is actually the version of you, I would think, wow, this guy, he dresses like shit, he's fat, probably didn't even have the time to groom himself. I guess he must love his family a lot, to put everyone else first before himself. And in that instant, maybe you learn to love yourself a little bit more. Maybe you learn to accept the sacrifices that you've been through. You are your hero. You are great. You are wonderful. Recognize for yourself all the things that you've done. Now go through a day of that version of you. What are the good things? What are the bad things? Try and think more of the good than the bad. But then again, if you look closely, how can we perceive that situation in a positive light? Maybe you're screwing up, trying another business attempt. But then again, let's appreciate that you took hours trying to figure something out. You don't usually do that. You would have otherwise just vegged out watching Netflix. But instead, you took the time to try something different. It could be an occasion where you try to go home, surprise your loved one. Could be a child, could be, someone else in the family with something, but you took a few wrong turns. And maybe the gift didn't turn out that well after all, because maybe the lack of refrigeration caused it to deteriorate, or you just got back so late and you missed the timing. But then again, appreciate your effort. Now let's come back into this present self of yours. How is this present self of yours? You're looking at your present self. Form an image of your present self right now. How do you look? How do you look versus the version of you from a few weeks ago? Is there anything that you currently do different from back then? What kind of things do you have to say to this version of you? Now let's take a few more deep breaths. Have in mind the version of you that you wish to be. This is the version of yourself that has already succeeded at all these things that you've been failing miserably at. Now you have a chance to inspect him closely. What is this version of you wearing? What is this version of you smelling like? What is this version of you looking like? Because he's done it. So how does he look right now? How does he look different from you? How does he go out and live his day? Now, imagine that the two of you are sitting at a table. It could be a quiet room, it could be your favorite coffee place, and you're having a dialogue. What questions would you like to ask? Or advice? What advice would you like to seek from this successful version of yourself? Feel free to go ahead and have a dialogue. Pause this video as you see fit. And recognize that this version of you is you. It's through imagination that we can access different versions of ourselves. This is known as the multiverse. Now, as you two are in this room or at this coffee table, you now move yourself closer to this best version of yourself, and you are now combining and fusing into one single person. You take away all his vibrations, all his good habits, all his experiences, and now you are that person. We come back into the present, we know who we are, and we know that we are capable of these things that we were pushing for, because we now have seen what it took us to get to this point. This is kind of like a student write his report card at the beginning of a term based on all the ideal grades that he wants to have, then go out and achieve it to the report card results that you desire. I want you to know that even if your results right now that people around you are looking down upon, but the most important is you, because you are running this race with yourself. This is why people say all that really matters is you versus you. Are you constantly pushing ahead? As long as you're constantly pushing ahead, that's fine. That's fine. You're doing a great job. You already know, because you already had that dialogue from your higher self. How would it be like if you kept doing things in this way, or did the best version of yourself do things a slightly different way? If he had to take a different turn in life, what did he do? Go ahead, make these changes, make these tweaks. Seeing the finished result allows you to have more guts to pursue on this fight. Fight for the life that you desire. Peace be with you, and God bless. Subscribe and share this video to anyone who could benefit from this message. Thank you so much. With lots of love.